What's up, Savages? It's Thursday, April 25th, 2019. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Thanks so much to everyone for liking, subscribing, sharing, and all that stuff. And this camera over here is just totally jacked up. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Straighten that out just a tad bit. Thanks so much for everyone watching, liking, subscribing, and all that good stuff. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. We have to just basically dive right into this and just get going because there is too much to cover. But as far as, obviously, you guys know that we're covering swap tonight. Again, I'm going to go a little bit more, not even in depth into the project because I really did that last night. Mostly this is going to be just mining and that's it on a lot of different platforms is the goal. So I want to get going, but some things that I didn't cover last night about the particular specs of the coin itself. The symbol is XWP, you probably already knew that. The total supply is 18,400,000 and it's got a tail emission of about 157,000 each year after the 8th year. So the tail emission on the other end of it, once they're all mined, is about 157,000 a year. And the decimal places, they use 12 instead of 8, so it goes even further. I don't even know the number. It's way it's way big. And the block time is 15 seconds. They use the Monero DAA difficulty adjustment, and the Genesis block was mined on November 16th of 2018. So I covered the project history last night and background and things like that. So tonight we're just going to jump right into the mining, and we're going to start with, I think we should start with HiveOS on AMD. So let's do that. And I just had to restart this rig. I don't know if it's back up and running here. Looks like it is. So I'm already mining it, but we'll go through the process just like we weren't mining it, right? So you can see right here, this is an AMD rig, and it's this hardware right here. So right now it's 10 GPUs. I think that's what I have on here. Where is it? Yep. So I've got two 570s listed here, but it's only 10. I took the two 570s out. I kept popping the breaker on my little power strip there, so I just took them out so that we can do the shows and things like that without having it crash and stuff like that was happening. So that's the hardware. Let's get over to HiveOS, and I'm just going to go super fast. I'm not even looking at the live chat or anything like that. I'm just going to blast right through this. All right, so first thing we have to do is create a wallet. So we're going to click on wallets and then add a wallet. We're going to type in XWP. I know I did this last night, but I want to just start at the beginning and go through the whole entire process. Obviously, you would have to have your own wallet receiving address. And just a bit of trivia real quick. You can see right here that this wallet actually it starts with FH. So in the comments or in the chat over there, let me know why it starts with FH, if anybody knows. Not the concealed devs if they're in there. So none of that stuff. Just regular viewers. Just let me know if you know why the address starts with FH. All right, so we'll call it the name will be XWP YouTube, and this will be AMD, and we're going to use a public pool, and in this case, Kryptonite, Kryptonite.cc. So I think we can do it like that. And then we're going to click create. Then we are going to go to flight sheets. We have to create a type flight sheet. So we're going to go XWP for swap. Select the wallet. The one that we just created was this one. And then the included miners aren't the ones that we're going to use, so we're actually going to click on configure in miner. I'm sorry, I said pool. The pools that are listed aren't what we're going to use. We're going to use kryptonite.cc. So we're going to click configure in miner. Then we're going to go and grab or choose the miner that we're going to use. In this case, because we're using AMD, we're going to use Gminer. Highly recommended to use Gminer for mining this coin. on AMD rigs. So click on gminer and then go to setup miner config, and we're going to click on select the algorithm. I think, yeah, it just says swap. Doesn't say kryptonite swap or anything like that, just swap. Not kryptonite. Yeah, kryptonite, sorry. All right, so wallet and worker template. Let's see here. We're probably going to go with, I think we can just click on this one here, which is the two variables, wallet and worker name. And then the pool. Let's go and grab a pool real quick. And it's actually in the documentation. I'm just going to grab it. So we're going to use kryptonite.cc, and 7732 is the port number. So we're just going to paste that in here. I think that's the rig port. I'd have to check on that. I might have. Let's go to miningpoolstats.stream real quick and just look. XWP. Kryptonite.cc, and we're going to go to connect. Okay, so 7733 is for rigs, so let's change that to 7733 like that. For password, I believe this pool can accept worker name as the password, and that'll help you. It'll show up on the pool, hopefully, as that particular worker name, so you can identify your different rigs. So then we're going to click apply changes. Then we're going to go back to workers. Now this is AMD, was the rig that we were messing with. It's going to get a little bit confusing because I was already mining it. But if we see, how are we going to be able to tell? If I do a refresh and then go back in here, let's see here. There's got to be a way of telling that we just did it by the wallet. You know what we'll do? Well, this is the one that's assigned, so I should have changed some stuff so that we could easily tell. Well, actually I can tell because it's on port 7733 and the other one wasn't. The flight sheet that I created earlier was not on that. So I think that we're good there. Let's see here. We'll bring up, make sure that it's working and we're getting accepted shares and all that stuff. I'm not going to distract myself by looking at the chat, so just bear with me. We're just going to blast right through this. We're only on the first one so far, and I want to get through, you know, simple mining and everything. So just bear with me. Just going to blast right through it. All right, so just to make sure that we're getting accepted shares here. All right, good to go. Everybody sees that, right? All right, so accepted shares, good to go. Get out of there. So next up is HiveOS on Nvidia. So let's come back over here. The Nvidia Rig is this hardware right here that we're going to be using tonight. And it is exactly like this. Two 1070s, two 1070 Ti's, and two 1080s. I don't have any new stuff just yet. The 20 series. I still have 10 series. And we are going to basically do the same thing. Whoops, let me go back over here. We'll do a wallet. We'll do a new wallet. I'm going to walk through the process each time and just all the way through, but I'm probably going to get a little bit quicker as I go. So here goes the wallet receiving address. And if you're watching this after the fact, obviously I'm going fast, and you can clearly just pause things and get the info you need. XWP, YouTube, we'll go, this is Nvidia, and that's good enough. And then create. And then we're going to go to flight sheets. This is where I need to get a little bit more creative so we can kind of tell what's going on. XWP, the wallet, is going to be the one that we just created, which is this one. The pool, again, we're going to choose configure in miner because we're going to choose our own pool, which is kryptonite.cc. And for Nvidia, we're going to be using the NB miner is the one that I recommend for that. Clearly, I mean, you can use whatever miner works, but from my experience, very limited experience, it seems like NB miner works way better than the other ones. So the other ones that are available. So it goes ahead and it chooses the correct algorithm, which is 29S. And then for the wallet and worker template, we're just going to click on the little, or put our mouse over the I, click on wallet.worker name. I think that'll work. And then the pool URL is going to be same thing as before, but we're going to go 7733, remember. We're going to start at the higher difficulty. So in this case, for this miner, you actually put the pool and the port together, separated by a colon. So we're going to go 33 there. For pass, we're going to use, I think we can use worker name here. So I'm going to type this in here. I think that works. And then no second algo or anything like that. I'm going to use the latest version and then apply changes. Give it a name, so we're going to go XWP NB miner. That way we can kind of specify it. NB miner. That way we can separate it out. YouTube, just so that I know that that's what. Uh-oh. All right, so it doesn't like something that we put in there. Maybe. Maybe the password. Nope. The given data, what the algo, that's right. Okay. I think you have to choose Cuckaroo swap. Earlier I said the wrong algo. Yeah, Cuckaroo. Okay. So Cuckaroo swap. Now let's go back over here and put worker name. I think this will still work. Like that. And then apply changes and then create. All right, cool. So that was cool. We ran into a problem right away. So the algorithm that it actually chose for you, selected for you, was not the right one. You have to click the down arrow and actually choose the correct one. So then we're going to go to workers. We're going to go to put a check mark next to Kessel, Nvidia, because that's what we're messing with now. Choose the rocket. Did I not do this earlier? I feel like I missed this step on the previous one. If I did, maybe that's why it's still working. All right. I'm going so fast that I probably skipped it. Okay. So you put a check mark there and chose the rocket, and then you're going to, well, what I like to do is sort by XWP by actually clicking on the coin that you're trying to mine. And then in this case, we are going to use this one right here, that flight sheet, because that's what we just created. I definitely skipped this earlier. And then we're going to click apply. So that should get that rig to restart. You're not going to be able to see it because it's not on the display back here. But I'm just going to let that rock, and we'll come back to it in a minute. So the next thing we'll cover is, we'll get back in here and make sure that that's still working. So the next one is Simple Mining OS on AMD using a public pool and Gminer. So let's head over to Simple Mining, and I already have it. I think I have one constructed already as far as the group config or the group. So what we'll do is let's go to it first, and I can show you what it looks like. So this one right here is the right one, I believe. All right, so this is, and I'll paste all these minor options and all that stuff into the video description, so don't worry about that. Now this one is set up for something that we're going to talk about in a little bit. It's not actually set up for the public pool, but we're going to change this to, let's see here, put that in there like that. I'll zoom up in just a moment. So we have to get rid of this 7733, I believe, right? I believe that this is going to be accurate for what we're going to try to do here. So that is what it looks like. And again, I'm not interacting with the chat at all because I just don't have time. I'm trying to cover a lot of stuff. All right, so we are going to save that. Then we are going to head over here and go to rig list. Put a check mark next to the rig. We're going to use this bottom rig here. Rig actions. They've done a lot of updates to Simple Mining, so if you haven't been in there in the console for a while, this looks totally different because it is. And then we go to group config, and then we're going to choose the group that we just create. We didn't create it from scratch, but you saw all the settings for it. And then we're going to go XWP C29s. That is the group that we were just looking at. So I'm going to click on that. Going to click on it. The miner's already downloaded, so I'm just going to click reload and just see if it works. And then you can see over here that it is actually restarting the rig, or not restarting the rig. It is reloading the miner, right? So while that's reloading, let's head over to check and make sure that we're still mining over here. We're going to do a refresh, clean up the errors or the messages. Looks good. So I'm thinking that this one is working just fine from what I can tell. So we'll fire up the shell and take a look at it real quick. Yeah, see, this is the flight sheet that it's on, so that's the one that we just created, so that is good to go. So everything that we did in that whole little section there is working fine. So that is cool. So we'll check this real quick while that other rig is reloading the miner. Trying to be as efficient as possible here. All right, so there we go. We got accepted shares there as well. Good to go. All right, so I'll just close that. Now, this rig we are going to use for, see, I was going to use Simple Mining. Might not have to worry about that. I was going to do Simple Mining and Nvidia. I guess we can do it. Let me shut this rig down. All right, confirm that. Okay, now, where were we? Let's get back over to Simple Mining. Still rebooting? No. Okay, there we go. All right, so it looks like that group was assigned right here. I don't believe that this miner is configured to show you anything under console, so you actually have to click on console over here. And it looks like we're getting accepted shares, so that worked as well. No, wait, shares accepted 0. But it probably just came up, so I'm going to give that a couple of minutes here. Yeah, this should be okay. I didn't test it beforehand, but I believe I mined. This is AMD on, yeah, Simple Mining AMD. Okay, there we go. So it got an accepted share there. All right, so we are rocking, man. We're killing it. All right, let's go. So that is AMD. That's Simple Mining and AMD. So now we need to go to Simple Mining and Nvidia. So we're going to do it like this. I should have started this beforehand, but that's okay. Hopefully that will come up pretty quick, and it will show up over here, because on Nvidia and Simple Mining we'll use NB Miner, different miner. So we might get a little bit, might take a few more minutes to actually get that up and running, because I don't have anything configured already. I don't have a group created yet. So while that's coming up, we got a minute or two. I will check the live chat, see what's going on over here. All right. What's up, Red Panda? Zar420, what's going on, man? You're correct, Austin. FH. Remember, they left the FH at the beginning of the addresses for swap to remind everyone of where they came from, right? It's kind of like a legacy kind of thing, because that's where they started. So kind of cool. And what's up, El Swapo? You must be a swap supporter, I would assume. And what's up, Cyril Thrilla? All right, so let's see here. Let me, where was I? Okay, let me get back over to HiveOS here. And nothing is happening on that rig, but let's see, what did I do? Oh, that's right. Okay, so this rig should be starting to show up in Simple Mining. Boom, there it is. All right, great. Right now, it looks like it's pre-configured, or the last time I configured this rig for Simple Mining, it was actually on Zcash. So we're not going to use that, of course. We're going to go to Group Config, and we have to create a new group. This is what I was saying. We might get a little bit hung up right here, only because we have to do it from scratch. So we're going to use, because this is Nvidia, I recommend using NB Miner. So we're going to come down to NB Miner. We're going to use the latest version, and you can see right here that they have swap listed there. So we're just going to give it a name of XWP, YouTube, Nvidia, something like that, just so we can identify it pretty quickly. Okay, so for the algo, let me see if I can zoom up. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay, so for the algo, it is going to be swap. For the server, we're going to use the public info, or the public pool again, which is, in this case, is kryptonite.cc. We're going to grab that again. Probably was already on my clipboard, but just in case. And then we're going to go 7733, remember, because we want to do a full rig and start with that difficulty. And then we're going to go user. The user is your wallet address. And then remember that Simple Mining OS uses the variable rig name, $, lowercase RIG, capital N, lowercase AME. Wow, that rig is really mad back there. You hear that thing firing up? So it uses that as a variable, and whatever the rig name is that you've assigned in the console or the dashboard, that's what gets thrown out to the pool to identify the rig to the pool. So that's just a variable right here. So then we're going to click Add Group. I'll zoom up on that in just a moment. Let me get it assigned to the rig. So we're going to go Rig List. This is the rig that we're going to be looking at here. Going to put, that's the Nvidia rig. Go to Rig Actions, Group Config. Then we're going to go to XWP, YouTube Nvidia, and then reload. And I believe I probably should have done a restart, because that miner is probably not on that that USB, so that load. We'll see what happens. Yeah, see, it's downloading it. So that's going to take a while. All right. So that is Simple Mining OS and Nvidia. Now we're at, oh, wow, that was actually pretty fast. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Actually, it's going super fast compared to what I'm used to. All right. Something that the devs did, they did something really cool. The devs did what devs do. They developed a pool. It's called Micro Pool, and you can run this pool on your local network. Algo swap not implemented. Okay, so maybe, let me see here. Let me check my notes. Oh, you know what? It's yeah, that's wrong. Let's head over here. You guys might be telling me that I messed up, and my bad, because I'm not looking at the chat because I'm trying to go super fast. Yeah, right here I messed this up. It is for NB Miner. It is going to be Cuckaroo swap, like that. And this right here might have to be a colon. We'll check on that. Alright, so save that. Now that's probably going to cause a reload. Maybe not. Yeah, it did reload it. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. See up here where it says algo Cuckaroo swap. I just had, what did I have in there? Just swap, I believe. And that's not going to work. So for MB Miner, the algo is Cuckaroo _ swap. Just keep that in mind. So this should generate hopefully a accepted share. There we go, boom. All right, so we are done with that one as well. That's super cool. We're killing it. I'm digging it. All right, so back to what I was saying. The devs did what devs do, and they designed a micro pool. And this micro pool you can run on, like in my case, I'm running it on this machine, a Windows 10 machine, on your same network with your rigs, and you can actually mine to it or use it for mining. This right here is just, yeah, had a little error there. I don't know why. One GPU was having trouble, I guess. Anyway, so if you can run the pool on your local network and then set your point your miners at it and actually run a pool locally and not have to deal with any pool outside of your local area network. Now in my case, I'm on the same LAN. I'm not VLAN or anything like that. The miners are on the same LAN as the actual pool that's running. So let me show you this real quick. They made it super easy. It is really cool. I mean, some of the settings you have to kind of think about. Maybe have to do a little bit of research, but it is really cool. So let me show you this real quick. I think it's under pools. So right here it's called Micro Pool, latest release. I think they have it for, okay, so it's only for Windows, it looks like. All right, and they have either a portable version or one that you actually install. I've used both. They're both pretty much the same. I believe that the portable one takes a little bit longer to start up or something, but right now I will show you the the installed version. It looks like this once it's up and running. And what you want to do if you're on a local area network like this, from what I've learned, now obviously there's probably different configurations that you can use that will work, but in my case I use the daemon host as 0.0.0.0. The port is 19950. I'll zoom up on this real quick. And then the pool port is 14650. So those are the settings that work for me. The wallet is just your desktop wallet address, your mining address. That's all it is. So it is very easy. Now, I kind of got ahead of myself because the first thing you have to do is the wallet, the swap D it's called, is in your, this is the daemon for swap, is in your wallet installation folder, right? Now you have to launch this and let it synchronize, and it can take several hours depending on a lot of different factors, not just your network speed, but a lot of different factors. How many nodes are actually on the network at that time and all that stuff. So it gets it can be slow, put it that way. But you want to let swap D completely synchronize before you start trying to run the micropool, or at least try to mine to it, right? You can start it, but it's not going to work until the swap D is actually synchronized. So see, once you see it synchronized as it is right here, then you can actually start using it to mine to. I know I'm going to go a little bit over. Brandon's probably already live, but that's okay. I'm going to blast right through this, just a couple of different scenarios here. So I've got a synchronized swap D. That's number one. You've got to have that. Then if you you launch your micropool and you input the data like I showed you before, or like I was talking about earlier, Looks like that. If you're now, my configuration might not be the same as yours. You could do this through a firewall. You could do this a lot of different ways, and that's another thing. You have to actually enable this port in your firewall I think it's the daemon port. It might be the pool port. I don't know. I'd have to check on that. Anyway, I think it's the pool port that you have to actually allow through your firewall, through Windows Defender, if you have that installed. So just keep that in mind. If you're getting like connection problems and things like that, that's what that's going to be. So once you get it enabled and through your firewall, then you are going to be able to actually point to the IP address of your machine that is running these two programs, the swapd and the micropool, right? In my case, it's private IP 192.168.1.18. So that's what this machine's IP address is. All right. So what you can do, you probably already saw it. I already have the flight sheets and stuff set up over here. So this one is now simple mining. So we'll go over this using the AMD rig real quick. So what your flight sheet looks like, the one that you're going to configure for your micropool, will look like this right here. You use the same miners, same wallet, same everything. I just configured them differently so I could show you different, configurations. But in this case, because we're using AMD rig, we're using gminer. So you click on setup miner config, and this is where you would simply put swap as the hot hash algorithm, your wallet info, and it will accept the variable, which is cool. And then the pool and the server, the pool server is the IP address, like I was saying earlier. And then the port is 14650. So that is the port that you have to pass through your firewall, right? And that's it. That's what it looks like. So if you go over here to micropool, you can see like workers right here is blank, right? There's nothing, there's no workers listed, right? It's just going to be a number anyway. But what I'll do is I will assign the AMD rig to that flight sheet. So I'm going to go click on put a check mark next to it, go to the flight sheet, click on XWP. I'm going to go to the micropool AMD. This is the flight sheet that we were just looking at, which points to my micropool that's running. And so I just assigned it, so it should probably be reloading the miner. And then what you'll end up seeing over here is you'll see, well, you're already seeing new blocks because everything's synced up and everything's good to go. Once you see that new block to mine, that's a good thing. Now you just need to get your rig to actually talk to it, right? Which is what we just did. We just assigned a flight sheet. It should point to this in a minute, and you should see workers switch to 1. And I might have to restart it. I've noticed that it's a little quirky with my configuration here, so I might actually have to shut it down and restart it. We might do that in a minute if it doesn't come up. So what I also want to do is shut this rig down real quick. This is not the one that I'm actually doing right there. This is the Nvidia Rig, because the Nvidia Rig is really solid on this, so I wanted to get it back up and running so I could show you that. It looks like maybe the AMD rig is messed up. Do a refresh here. Yeah, it looks like it's not gonna come up. This thing is a little bit finicky for me, so I have to keep restarting it sometimes. Okay. Let me get up. Got a quirky rig there. All right. I know I'm like totally going over into Brandon Coin stream, but I really want to cover this stuff, so let's just press on and see if we can get this up and running here. So what was the last thing I did? I assigned it to the AMD rig, right? And then I also am firing up the Kessel rig back up into HiveOS because it was in Simple Mining, remember? So let me check the chat while we're waiting on that. What's up, Seb Green? Yeah, I saw that. I think it was in your Discord or something for, I was researching it to try to figure out why mine wasn't working. And yeah, and 0000 works. I tried, you know, it was one of those things where I was troubleshooting and I was trying a lot of different things. It probably would work with my IP, I would assume, this machine's IP. But yeah, once it started working, I just left it. I was like, okay, it's working, so I'm good. You know, surely I could go in there and play around with it, but. All right, so the Kessel rig, oh wow, check that thing out. All kind of problems with that rig. Is that? I don't know what it's doing. Okay, that is, I think that's, wait a minute. Yeah, we're looking at Scarif. So we're looking at the bottom rig, the AMD rig. Okay. All right, so let's refresh this. All right. So let's go to this rig and see. So I haven't assigned this one to the micro pool yet. This one is actually still on, yeah, kryptonite.cc. So let's go and let's assign the Nvidia rig to the micro pool so we can see if it will show up also. All right, so there's that. So let's see if we got any workers showing up. Not yet. Again, I'm probably going to have to restart that micro pool. I don't know, Seb, what do you think? Maybe that'll fix that problem where I might have to restart it. And for all y'all in here, Seb Green is he's the dev for Swap. So it's super cool that he's in here. He's a good guy. Plus he runs kryptonite.cc pool as well. And this is not sponsored by any means. This is just me covering a project that I'm interested in. That's it. Yes, he's in the stream. No, he didn't pay me. So, all right, let's see here. This thing is not wanting to work. I probably just should go ahead and restart that that pool. Yeah, so both of them are dead. All right, so let's do, I'm gonna close that. That pool or that rig is already assigned. I still have green synchronized, that's good. So we'll restart the pool. All right, so yeah, see, I had to restart it, and then now what you see is these shares. Whenever you start seeing the share and see how you got a worker as one right here, that is super cool. So that means that we've got the one rig, Nvidia rig, this one right here. If we go over here and do a refresh, you can see it. So this rig right here is now talking to the micro pool. I'm not communicating outside of my own network, other than, you know, obviously the shares are coming in, but or the work is coming in. But as far as talking to a pool, I'm talking to a pool on my local area network. So that is really cool. And this rig is still jacked up down here. I don't know if restarting it's going to work or anything. We'll try restart and see if it comes back up. I'd like to see, you know, 2 workers in here. That would be ideal, since we want to be able to mine it on both. And I'll put all this info into the video description so that, you know, you'll have all the miner options and all that stuff, all the config for this. So that will all be there as well. Yeah, I wasn't going to talk about the wallet.swap.fyi yet. Maybe I'll do that maybe tomorrow night or something. But basically, they've got a web wallet that they're close to being released, I believe, is the way I understand it. All right, so it looks like, yeah, this rig is coming back up. I might have to, that rig, after I restarted it, I might actually have to start this up again. Let me try, I'm gonna put, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, so it's talking now. See, it went to 2 workers. So if we do a refresh, it should show up. Boom, there we go. And you can see, I talked about this a little bit last night, how, you know, swap it kind of works better. It's more tuned for Nvidia GPUs, right? So this is a 6-card rig. You can see I'm getting 31 hashes per, not hashes, but graphs per second. And this is a 10 GPU rig right now that's only getting 17. So, you know, you can clearly see the difference. And these are probably the most efficient miners for both. You got NB miner for Nvidia and G miner for AMD. So as far as like overclocks and things like that, pretty basic. I'll put stuff into the, I'll put this info into the video description so you can have that as well. I think I already did actually. The last night's video had that. You know, check that video from last night. It'll have all the overclock stuff, and it's just baseline stuff, guys. I'm not fine tuning everything. Once it's operating the way it should, at least within, you know, 1%, 2% of the optimal or the ideal, then I let it rock. I let the thing eat, man. I don't go in there and keep playing with stuff. You know, I think it's inefficient unless you're just bored and you just want to see if you can squeeze out another mega hash or graph or whatever, you know. So yeah, once they're up and running and efficient, I'll let them eat. So that is going to basically do it for tonight. I really appreciate you guys coming out. This was awesome. We did a lot. I didn't get as far as I wanted to because I really wanted to get on simple mining, doing the whole micro pool thing as well. But I think you guys kind of get it, right? You kind of understand it the way that it's configured now. Even though I'm using HiveOS, I think you can translate that over if you're using simple mining. So I'm going to throw 127.0.0.1 in here and see if I lose connectivity or anything. Actually, what I'll do is close it, and then I'll open it back up and see if it still works. It looks like it's going to. Yeah, so 0.0.0.0 works, as well as 127.0.0.1 on my network. Okay, now, you know, yours might be totally different. You know, it's all going to depend on how your stuff is configured. So keep that in mind as you're going through this process. This is a great project, guys. I really dig it. You know, I don't know, can't say too much about it. There's nothing really bad to say about it, in other words. So I like it.